What up, everybody? Welcome back to Jayfabe Wrestling. Now we are, again, rebooking every King of the Ring. We are almost at the end here. We're at King of the Ring 2001. And yeah, this was a really memorable show. Obviously, um, first off, between Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon, the brutality there was, again, something we never seen before. Kurt Angle trying to belly to belly Shane McMahon through the glass there was definitely super brutal, especially the fact that it didn't break until like two or three tries, and then Kurt actually just threw him through it. So that was crazy. Kurt Angle also, I believe, injured his tailbone, and then they kind of ended the match with the super uh, angle slam. So that was crazy. And then we also have the crowning at Edge, which is, an interesting choice at the time. I would definitely go somewhere different. But yeah, the tournament did have all rec members, Rhyno, Edge, Christian, and Kurt. So that was pretty interesting. I would definitely go a different route though. Just because, as you guys know, first off, I like quarterfinal matches in the King Ring. And then also, I do like star power. So definitely going to change that. And then the main event was really interesting as well. Steve Austin, the paranoid heel, versus the two Chris's, the two Canadian Chris's. And Booker T makes his WWF debut. He pretty much injures Steve Austin as well as he slams him through the announce table. But Steve Austin still gets the win here. And Chris Benoit also breaks his neck. So yeah, just a brutal show. A lot of people getting injured here. And as good as the show is, I feel like I can definitely do better just because the tournament didn't have the star power for me. So I definitely look to improve the tournament. And let's get into what actually happened here on the show. We had Kurt Angle defeating Christian in the King of the Ring semifinal match. Then we have Edge defeating Rhyno in the King of the Ring semifinal match. We have the Dudley Boys retain the tag team titles against Spike Dudley and Kane. We have Edge defeating Kurt Angle in the King of the Ring finals. Jeff Hardy defeating X-Pac in a light heavyweight championship match. Kurt Angle defeating Shane McMahon in a street fight. In the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. I also forgot to add DDP and The Undertaker had a brawl here, which was pretty bad, Undertaker just, again, him in 2001, it wasn't it. He was making DDP look like a scrub here. DDP is a stalker. First off, why is he stalking The Undertaker's wife when his wife is Kimberly Page? And then after that, Undertaker just beats the crap out of him, which honestly just kind of killed DDP from the start. So that was also bad. So yeah, definitely that needs to change as well. But we'll get into it, guys. So the first match on my card. We have the Dudley Boys, who just turned heel, versus the Hardy Boys. So yeah, I would have the Dudleys again put Molly Holly through the table, put Spike through the table, and say, we're done, being nice guys here. We're gonna be the old Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys can come out and say, like, man, we used to respect you, but after what you guys did to Molly and what you guys did to Spike, we do not respect the new Dudley Boys. So yeah, they can have a nice feud here. Simple tag match, no tables match, no gimmicks, just a 2-on-2 regular tag team match here. And I would have the Dudley Boys win after cheating, so they fully solidified their heel turn here. And yeah, the Dudley Boys get the win here. And now we're into the King of the Ring quarterfinal matches. So the first quarterfinal match I have is Test versus Kurt Angle. So Test turned face. He turned on Albert here. And yeah, nice feud here where obviously, Test hates Stephanie McMahon, and Kurt Angle always defends Stephanie, so we can have that going on here. And yeah, I would actually have Kurt Angle get the clean win. Test could go for the big boot. Kurt could duck, hit the Olympic slam. 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle advances, and Kurt Angle says he's going back to back. And that makes sense here as well because Test, he's a Shane McMahon guy, so I would actually not have Kurt versus Shane on this show. I would have it at SummerSlam, so that definitely builds the hype for that as well. Because Kurt, again, he wants to prove to Shane that he could win King of the Ring. Next up, we have Kane versus Rhyno in a quarterfinal match here. So we got the Man Beast versus the Big Red Machine. Physical match here. And I would actually give Rhyno the clean win over Kane. Kane can go for a choke slam. Rhyno can reverse it into the gore. 1, 2, 3. Rhyno wins. I just feel like at this time, Kane, he was getting a little bit stale. And I feel like Rhyno could have been a big time player here. And obviously, with the invasion coming, we need to establish Rhyno. So him getting the clean win over Kane and advancing would be very cool and interesting. And the next quarterfinal match, we have the Undertaker versus Raven. So yeah, this was kind of a low-key dream match here. So going into the match, we can have Raven talk about how he's not scared of the Undertaker. And yeah, just talking trash about the Undertaker. Undertaker could try to attack him, but Raven runs away. So yeah, nice, cool little dream match here. And the Undertaker can get the clean victory here to advance. And then we have Chris Jericho versus William Regal as the last quarterfinal match. So obviously their feud was well established here. And Jericho won at WrestleMania. And William Regal won in the Duchess of Queensberry match. So we kind of settled the score here. Jericho could again talk smack about William Regal, reminding him that he peed in his tea and that he had to use the Duchess to defeat Jericho at Backlash. So yeah, can have some great promos here. Obviously Jericho's very hilarious. So is William Regal. So good stuff here. Chris Jericho can get the clean win and advance. All right, now we have a steel cage match. Shane McMahon versus The Big Show. So yeah, again, I would save Shane versus Kurt until SummerSlam. And I would actually have Shane and Big Show. I know they fought at Backlash that year, but I would not have that match. I would have it here. And yeah, again, Big Show would be dominating the match. And I'll have a couple WCW guys just interfere and jump the Big Show. And Shane can get to the top of the cage and hit the elbow. 1, 2, 3. Shane wins thanks to WCW. So yeah, definitely building tension towards the invasion there. And yeah, Shane, he was a big character at the time, so he definitely needed to be on the card. So yeah. All right. Now we're at the King of the Ring semifinal match. I have The Undertaker versus Kurt Angle. Yeah, again, good match here, physical match. And this is where I would actually have DDP debut and just diamond cut The Undertaker. So this can be like he took orders from Shane because Shane thinks that Kurt would jump to WCW. But obviously Kurt didn't, but DDP was told by Shane to help Kurt Angle. So that's why DDP diamond cuts The Undertaker. And yeah, again, they can go into the feud where DDP wants to become famous and all that. So yeah, I feel like that would be a more impactful way to debut DDP rather than just revealing him as a stalker and then him getting beat up at King of the Ring. Him actually making an impact, diamond cutting The Undertaker, which allows Kurt Angle to advance. And then we have the final King of the Ring semi-final match. We have Chris Jericho versus Rhyno. They fought at SummerSlam, and they had a pretty decent match here. And yeah, we can even have Stephanie try to motivate Rhyno, because she hates Chris Jericho. So we can have that going on backstage. And yeah, good solid match here. Chris Jericho can duck the gore and then hit a quick roll up. So Rhyno does look strong here, but Chris Jericho gets the clean win and advances. And yeah, that means, guys, we get the rematch from the King of the Ring finals I had for King of the Ring 2000. Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle. So yeah, a lot of hype going into that match. Kurt Angle would talk about how, he's about to be a repeat King of the Ring because he's facing Chris Jericho. And, we all know what happened last year. It's going to be the same this year. And yeah, Jericho, again, he can, not be phased and says he got, he was so close to winning last year. And people say he can't win the big one, but he's going to defeat Kurt Angle and then win the world title at SummerSlam. So yeah, definitely builds hype for that. And obviously these two, I feel like they didn't have a lot of pay-per-view matches once they were like both established as main eventers. I know they had a match at like No Way Out 2000, but I don't think they had another singles match since. So yeah, definitely this would be a great finals here. Great technical match. And Chris Jericho gets the clean victory here. He can counter the ankle lock into the walls of Jericho, and Kurt Angle taps out. So yeah, guys, now we're at the main event of the evening. We have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Chris Benoit. So Austin, he's a heel here. He's very paranoid. And obviously, the rumors is that Chris Benoit is going to jump to WCW, even though Benoit denies it. He says, "Why would I join them? I left them because that company mistreated me, and I'm here, to fight for WWF and to actually win the WWF championship because he won the world title in WCW, and that doesn't mean anything. All he wants is to win the WWF championship." And yeah, these two had great matches in Edmonton. I think Benoit German them 10 plus times on SmackDown in a match. So definitely the chemistry here would be great. And yeah, I would actually have Steve Austin get the win here. He can kind of cheat, maybe hit a low blow and stunner. 1, 2, 3. Steve Austin celebrating. Then I would have Booker T interfere, just because I felt like when Booker T interfered on the real show, it just Austin still ended up winning. So I felt like it was kind of a waste, but I feel like it makes sense for Booker to actually interfere after the match, kind of like a shot, throwing the first shot in the invasion here. And also doesn't make Benoit look that bad that, Booker interfered and Austin still retained. So Booker would jump Steve Austin, him with the belt, bookend through the announce table. And yeah, the WCW invasion has arrived. So yeah, guys, that is my King of the Ring 2001. I just think it's a better card. First off, I don't even have Edge and Christian on the card here, which is interesting. I just felt like in 2001, there's too much going on, and I felt like Edge's push was kind of like seen as not important and in the background. So I would hold off on Edge's push until 2002 here. And yeah, I feel like again, King of the Ring should have the main event players, Edge and Christian. Even were not main event players. The only main event player they had in the tournament was Rhyno. So that was that, and then yeah, just like how they used the Undertaker and DDP, I'll definitely have something different there. And yeah, again, we stacked the card here with quarterfinal matches. Rhyno gets a big established win here. Undertaker and Raven kind of get their dream match, pay-per-view match here. Jericho and Regal, they kind of settled their feud here. And yeah, even Kurt and Test has a lot of momentum as he turned face. And that makes sense for, building the Shane feud, Shane versus Big Show. Save the Shane McMahon Big Show match for this show, I think makes more sense. And then, yeah, again, the stories coming from the semifinals where DDP cost The Undertaker a match because Shane told him to, and Shane wants Kurt to join WCW, but he doesn't join. And then Chris Jericho and Kurt Angle running it back from last year. And yeah, this would definitely lead to Jericho versus Austin at SummerSlam, and Jericho would jump to the WCW in my booking. So yeah, and obviously Benoit and Austin, they never got their pay-per-view match, so this was the best time to have it. Benoit was injured after this, he was gone, so yeah, this is definitely the best time to have it. And yeah, Booker T interference after the match makes a little more sense than during the match because keeps Benoit still looking strong and yeah, builds the hype again for the invasion. So yeah, guys, that's my card. Let me know what you guys think. Let me run down the card for you guys right now. So we got for the World Tag Team Championship, the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys. And the King of the Ring quarterfinal matches, we have Test versus Kurt Angle, Kane versus Rhyno, The Undertaker versus Raven, and Chris Jericho versus William Regal. We have a steel cage match, Shane McMahon versus The Big Show. King of the Ring semifinal matches, we have The Undertaker versus Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho versus Rhyno, and the King of the Ring finals, we have Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle, and in the main event for the WWF Championship, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Chris Benoit. So yeah, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you on the next one. Peace.